Well, y'all, happy Pride. The weather's hot, the gays are out, and we have our Romeo and Juliet fantasy overture on. You know what that means? Our favorite LGBTQ plus Warrior Cats couple. I am a giant Warrior Cats fan. I've been a Warrior Cats fan since 2002 when the first book premiered. And I just gotta say, it has some of the best LGBTQ plus couples in literature. And you might be saying, raccoons, but none of these gay couples are canon. And I say to you, HarperCollins are cowards. So we're going to count down our top 11 favorite Warrior Cat couples. And it's going to have some honorable mentions as well. So let's just dive right into number 11. Blue Star and Rosetail. A lot like Pocahontas and Nakomi, Rosetail is always being there for Blue Star when literally every single man in her life, including and up to her father, are failing her. I also love how Rosetail is obviously Blue Star's girlfriend, and of course the books can't say so because HarperCollins is cowards. But Rosetail is just totally fine with Blue Star having himbos like Thrushpelt and Oakheart, just as long as she comes home to this beautiful girl at the end of the day. I love this gay ship. Number 10, we have Hollyleaf and Willowshine. Like mother, like daughter, so they say. Hollyleaf has a million girlfriends. We have Hazeltail, Heathertail, but my very favorite ship is her and the RiverClan medicine cat apprentice Willowshine, who, by the way, hates her brother Jay Feather. I really love them. I especially love when Hollyleaf is stranded in RiverClan territory and Willowshine is just helping her out, giving her nettles spread with honey. Like, what if we kissed in the medicine den over nettles smeared with honey? Love Hollyleaf. Love that lesbian queen. And number 9, we have Tawny Pelt and Squirrelflight. Squirrelflight's going to come up several times on this list. Of course, they bond over the great journey to the lakes and finding the clans a new home. But Tawny Pelt is also funny because Bramblestar, who always wants to boss Squirrelflight around, she of course never does anything he tells her. But the minute Tawny Pelt tells Squirrelflight to do something, she's like, "Yes, ma'am, what can I do for you?" I also love the scene in the Power of Three book art where Tawny Pelt gives birth to a litter of kits, and like Squirrelflight is the one at the front of the crowd saying, "That's right, Tawny Pelt, that's my girl." Like, not even Tawny Pelt's stupid brother, stupid mate or stupid brother congratulates her, but Squirrelflight is like at the head of the line. It's giving Monica Reyes. At number 8, we're gonna have a rare pair ship that I love and that I didn't ship at first, and that is Yellowfang and Frostfur. Now, when you read the first arc, The Prophecies Begin, like, you don't really see Yellowfang, the former ShadowClan medicine cat, and her bonding with Frostfur, one of the ThunderClan queens, until her daughter, Cinderpaw, is injured, and Yellowfang is taking care of Frostfur's baby. Also, I think Yellowfang and Frostfur, like, between the lines in the book, were bonding over having children with disabilities and having children with very complicated lifestyles, but still loving them to the last drop of their blood. Also, I just love Yellowfang being like this grizzled older lesbian and Frostfur being this very luxuriant cat. It's giving Aquarius and Leo vibes. I just love Yellowfang and I just love Frostfur. Also, Frostfur is the first cat in ThunderClan to officially welcome Yellowfang in, and if that's not gay vibes, I don't know what is. Number 7, we have Bramblestar and Stormfur, our first gay male ship in the list. I always say that Bramblestar, who was Bramble-Claw back then in the second arc of the series, was better with his boyfriends than he ever was with Squirrelflight, and vice versa. Squirrelflight does much better with her girlfriends. I always shipped Bramble-Claw and Squirrelflight as besties who just get on each other's nerves while they have their little gay romances on the side. And Bramblestar and Stormfur are that couple, like, when Stormfur goes to join the Mountain Cats, like, Bramble-Claw is so torn up about it. And Stormfur is the one who's like, oh no, I like Breville Star's sister. I totally do. And I'm like, yeah, right, dude, keep dreaming. Number 6, we have Silverstream and Ferncloud, and a lot like Yellowfang and Frostfur, I didn't get into the ship until the excellent Silverstream graphic novel. When you see Silverstream, who, by the way, trained with Ferncloud, then Fern Paw, when she was a refugee in ThunderClan from RiverClan. And they have this cute little scene in the Silverstream graphic novel where they meet up together and they're catching up, and she's like, do you still remember me? Do you still love me? And of course Ferncloud does. Ferncloud is gay as hell, and her husband Dustfur is just fine with it. Ferncloud could do anything, and Dustfur would be fine with it. She is his princess. Moving on to number 5, we have Moonlight and Squirrelflight. I told you Squirrelflight would come up more than once on this list. In Squirrelflight's personal novel, she meets this stray cat named Moonlight. First of all, Squirrelflight, a lot like her sister, loves the bigger lesbians, just saying. And Moonlight kind of shows Squirrelflight a different way of thinking. Like, hey, maybe you don't have to belong to this cult for the rest of your life. Maybe you could be free and act like, I don't know, a normal cat. And it's a really cool thing, like Squirrelflight just getting out of her comfort zone and Moonlight being like, I can show you the world. And I really want them to, like, fly away on a magic carpet, or I guess in this universe, a magic leaf or lily pad, far, far away from Squirrelflight's emotionally abusive husband, Bramblestar. Screw that guy. At number 4, we have Firestar and Graystripe, and they would be number 1 because they are the OG warrior cat gay couple if number 3, 2, and 1 weren't my favorites. And again, like, they were together from the time, you know, he was named Rusty and he tumbled out of his 2-leg nest. Who was the first person there? Was it Sandstorm? Was it Yellowfang? Was it Bluestar? Was it Cinderpaw, who hadn't been born at this point? No, it was Graystripe, his beautiful, beautiful, floofy, gray lover boy. And just from the beginning, they are there for each other. There's so many great moments between these two. But I'm thinking about when Graystripe leaves ThunderClan to join his kits in RiverClan. And Firestar is just standing on the banks of the river, broken-hearted. And that is how Forest of Secret ends. And again, like, if that's not gay vibes, I don't know what is. Also, Firestar went to the mat for Graystripe after his clan blamed him for hooking up with a RiverClan she-cat. Again, they're just great together. And in Graystripe's graphic novel, Firestar never gives up. He refuses to appoint a deputy because he knows his friend is out there. He can sense him with the power of rainbows. At number 3, we have Ravenpaw and Barley. A lot like Firestar and Graystripe, like from the first book, this ship has been canon in my heart. And again, if it wasn't for HarperCollins being cowards, this would be canon in the book series. Because even the authors, even Kate Carey came out and said, these cats can come out. When the writers ship it, it might as well be canon to me. Also, Ravenpaw is such a scared little anxiety prince until he meets Barley, his beautiful tuxedo man, and he gains such confidence in himself in the Ravenpaw graphic novel. You just see this incredibly different character from the one in the beginning of the book, this scared kit who was terrified of Tiger Claw, and now that he's with his beautiful boyfriend, he's gained such confidence. I love you guys. At number 2, we have Leafpool and Mothwing. Leafpool is the Kitty Pryde, or maybe the Dana Scully of this universe. She has a million gal pals, and we'll get to them in the honorable mentions. But Mothwing is the best. When Leafpool died in the rock slide, Mothwing was right there by Crowfeather's side, you know, mourning for her woman. And again, how these two constantly break the boundaries set down by their cultist societies just to be together. Like, it's so queer, and I'm here for it. They will always be my favorite WLW LGBTQ plus Warrior Cat ship. And now, before we get to the number one spot, we're gonna have, of course, some honorable mentions, or as I like to call it, some honorable meowchins. We have Berry Nose and Lion Blaze. They are like enemies, rivals, constantly at each other's throats. Also, Lion Blaze is like projecting his daddy issues onto Berry Nose pretty hard. But again, they very much have that rivalry, a lot like Fox Mulder and Alex Krycek, where they're just so in love with each other and they're so obsessed with each other that it just comes across as a rivalry, but it's actually love. Really love them together. I have Leopard Star and Mistyfoot, and they would have made the list if Leopard Star wasn't such a toxic character. She pretty much sentenced Mistyfoot to death, the cat who was there for her through every single thing. You know, including her troubled childhood. Like, they were childhood best friends, and she turned her back on her. But Mistyfoot still stays. She still returns to RiverClan, to be Leopard Star's destiny. She's so loyal in her love to Leopard Star, much to her own detriment, but Mistyfoot's great. Next we have Leafpool and all of her girlfriends. I know I put her and Mothwing on the list because that is the ship that the books talk about the most, I think. But Leafpool is great with all of her girlfriends. Again, like her sister Squirrelflight, when she's with her man, it's far less believable than when she's with her girlfriends. I'm thinking about Cody, the pet cat she met at the beginning of the second arc, and how broken-hearted Cody is when Leafpool leaves for their new clan in the lake territory. And just how Leafpool helped Cody grieve her missing kits that her humans gave away. It's such a kind and gentle ship. Also, Leafpool and Sorreltail being besties from the get-go. And Leafpool, like, getting in her feelings when Sorreltail comes out and says, oh, and me and Brackenfur are getting married, by the way. It's giving fried green tomatoes when Ruth married her husband and left Iggy. But I don't want to compare Brackenfur to Frank Bennett. Like, Frank Bennett's a POS, and Brackenfur's just the best boy in the world. Sorreltail got a good husband, and I think he would have been totally fine with her and Leafpool dating if Leafpool hadn't been a medicine cat. And finally, in the honorable mentions, we have Daisy and Brightheart, and the only reason this didn't make the list is because the books don't talk enough about their relationships. And Brightheart is very jealous of Daisy when she first joins the clans because her man, Cloudtail, is giving her too much attention. And Cloudtail is he's kind of a Chad, but he's a well-meaning Chad. Like, he didn't mean to make Brightheart jealous by giving too much attention to this other she-cat. And Brightheart's fine with it when he says, like, oh, I'm sorry, honey, I didn't mean to screw up in this way. Brightheart's fine with it, and she becomes lovers with Daisy, and they're both just protecting the kittens in ThunderClan as the nursery queens. Let's give it up for these beautiful lesbian ladies. Okay, the time has come, guys. The one you've all been waiting for. The number one LGBTQ plus Warrior Cat ship is, and let's have a drum roll, please. You might have already guessed it, Jake and Tallstar. Tallstar's Revenge is this wonderful romance book disguised as a cutthroat animal fantasy. You know, we have Tallstar growing up and learning that revenge cannot drive his heart. Only love can. And he finds that love in this beautiful, flame-colored, fluffy boy named Jake. Do you know how much Jake and Tallstar loved one another? And this isn't really a spoiler for Tallstar's Revenge because we all know they fall in love. Is only clan cats can go to StarClan, which I think is totally unfair. And Tallstar loved Jake so much, and Jake loved Tallstar so much that Jake is the one who shows up on Tallstar's deathbed to guide him to the afterlife, because even death cannot break the bonds of gay cat husbands, and I think we can all agree on that. So happy Pride, y'all. Okay, don't let the homophobes get you down, because they're everywhere. And remember, Pride started as a riot. a pussy riot. We'll see y'all later. Happy Pride, everyone.